All right. I want to speak on two things real quick. Keep it short and sweet. The first one will be this news reporter that called another black news reporter that they look like a monkey, similar to a monkey. This comes from the fact that Caucasians really don't feel no fear. Whether it be calling police on black people, whether it be making jokes like that. See, it'd be one thing, this was something new. Like the Proud Boys, they make comments and stuff. If a white person was to parrot something Proud Boys said or done the okay sign, I would not necessarily think the average white person is racist for that. I would not, unless they were like, oh, I love Trump. Okay, that's different. I wouldn't, But comparing blacks to looking like monkeys is not a new idea. Okay. So this goes back to white people not having any fear. I've said it before. When you watch these movies and they're the ones that go into the haunted house, that's because they don't have any fear. They have not had any fear. For white people, the world is theirs. Like Tony Montana, the world is mine. He had a fountain and all that stuff. That's it. That's really how white people think. So why not I bungee jump? Why not I parachute out of a plane? What's going to stop me? See, when you're black and you're in this world, you never know when you're going to be challenged by a Caucasian person. You never know. And so you live your life that way. Some people, like my grandfather, they wanted to be, super, super, super sure that you won't get stopped and won't have any problems. And some people like me realize that it's up to me to decide what am I going to do when it comes, prepare for it. I've always been a prepper. And that's a part of prepping is Caucasians acting a goddamn fool. For white people, sorry, that's loud or not. For white people, I think life is really about, they don't want to be kept from anything at any time. And that's why they, when Roseanne made that stupid joke about calling this woman a child of Planet of the Apes, basically calling her a monkey. I think Valerie Jarrett worked for Obama. And then even after she lost her show, she kept doing racist things. See, I love that. It's like when I tell you guys I love Trump, it's the same thing because this stuff shows you their true nature. It shows you everything we already knew about them. But just for all the young people, we want to make sure you understand. I want to make sure you get it. But I'm going to give you a contemporary version of how white people have always thought about our black asses. So this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? I don't love Trump, because I think he's a genius or I like his policies. No, I love him because he casts, he's clearing off the haze, the fog. Like when you blow out a candle, there'll be a little smoke, same thing. He's clearing it off. That little smog that you thought, oh, well, maybe it's not racist. No, man, it is racism. It's how we feel about you. We don't like you. We don't respect you. We don't respect your ancestors. We never did. And that's what that kind of stuff shows you. Second thing I want to talk about, and I did the video earlier and it got interrupted, and that's cool. I want to do it complete because it's a good video. I'm a sci-fi fan. I mean, I have the first season of Star Trek. Come on, man. I have the first season of Star Trek, and I don't really, my money isn't where I want it to be to keep going with it, but it's a good show. I mean, you really can't even step to me without watching Elysium and Terror Storm, Eco Storm. You can't do it. Because to me, that is, it's not that clean, but that's to me what we're facing right now. Working class people. I want to talk about SpaceX, all that, this newfangled idea of privatizing space. I've said before that I hope I don't live to see this white man build a foothold on Mars or on the moon, because all he's gonna do is for war. That's all he'll do. I realize that now. I believe the Caucasian's heart is of war. Not all of them, but it's kind of like, be a bad example. If you piss and you got weed in your system, they say, don't piss the first part, don't piss the last. Same thing. The worst of it that comes up is war, colonialism, and violence. And that's in the Caucasian nature, period. Whether it's back in the 1950s or whether it's in 2019. Same thing. I fear that if they were to get a foothold on Mars or whatever, they would just continue doing what they're doing, stealing oil, threatening people, threatening war all the time. That's what we would see. None of this equals into a better world for people like you and me, working class people. And I've watched some of those shows, because I'm a sci-fi guy. I like sci-fi. I'm all into going into deep space, undersea projects, and lifeless technology, and zero-point energy. I'm all for that, man. I love that. But I understand that going into deep space with this man, it just equals more war. I mean, I watch all these movies, and I like Zeitgeist. What do you call it? Zeitgeist Project. What's that thing called? It's a new idea of the future, and it's all beautiful, pretty stuff. But that's not real, man. The future is more and more war, and the future is more and more destruction. I have a very pessimistic view of the future. Very pessimistic, and that future is not one of less war or any of that. That future is of, we're going to do more and more mining and more destruction to rape up the world before climate change is really bad. But we're going to have ourselves safe somewhere in Alaska or something when this thing gets bad. That's what they're doing. They're preparing. They're not, I'm not to say the left is co-opted. I'm just saying that people like Trump and Bezos, I don't think they don't believe in climate change. It's just that, okay, we're going to prepare ourselves for it by the same ways we made money in the beginning, which is watching trends and just getting ourselves safe and a family safe. So when I watch those rockets, the rocket boosters, normally they used to get wasted. Now they can bring them back and they can land them. That's cool stuff. But I don't look at that stuff and see, okay, that's gonna be for us. I look at that and I see, the rich, the ruling class is one step further. So they don't need us. That's really what all this is. Whether it be privatizing space, whether it be advanced AI, you name it. All this stuff to me is just about a breakaway. And one day I'm going to do a video on that, the breakaway civilization. And when I was studying New World Order, I knew that stuff then, but I didn't really get it that's what capitalism has always been about. You've always had a group that was 20 years ahead because they're moving the markets. It's their future. We're just living in it. And if you've got this giant mass of people making $16, $17 an hour who don't even understand how capitalism works, who are making less money and doing more work than their parents did for probably the same roughly amount of money, payment, you're not getting anywhere. In fact, you're falling short. You're falling short. And there's more rules now, whether it be in trucking with CSA and all. I'll give truckers that. They want to complain about, I'll give them that. If you're doing the same amount of work for less money, or more work, for less money, and you're watched, you're tracked, you're traced more than you were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I'll give you that. I didn't look at it because I didn't know any better, but I'll give you that. I look at a lot of that as just, they see what's coming, but rather than them challenge capitalism as I've done, well, I don't really know what you're getting. When you complain about cameras in a truck and things like that, I don't really know what they're getting mad about, because that's what capitalism's about. I want to make as much money as I can while paying the worker as little money as possible, and little by little make him do more work for less money. And also, I'm using technology to, I don't have to pay his ass as much, and I don't need a specialized worker because I've dumbed it down. So I've got automatic trucks. I've got cameras in the trucks. I've got all these things, but little by little, before you know it, I don't need specialized workers. That's what capitalism is. I don't know why rednecks get mad about it, because they see the future, but they don't understand it. You're not gonna fix that's just the way I look. I'm an impossibilist. You're not gonna reform capitalism, man. Not in my lifetime, I don't think. You're not gonna reform it unless there's this giant movement, like in the 60s, that pushes them back. I don't see it. So when you get mad about Walmart using self-checkout lines, you don't realize that they need to hire more cashiers. They don't need folks that can count. They just need people that can put on a yellow vest and stand up there and make sure your ass don't steal. That's it, man. That's it. So now they got to do less training. Like I told my fleet manager that. It's all about the shareholders at the end of this. It's all about the shareholders. It's not about me or you. I told them, let me have you about the shareholders and their bonuses. That's it, man. I'm not mad, I don't get mad about that, because I understand that's capitalism. I wasn't against capitalism then, but now I realize that I have to be opposed to it. I'm blessed that I'm somewhat of a skilled worker. I've got my cards, I've got HAS, and I've been blessed to gain these things, and I'm thankful that I got them when someone's willing to pay for them for free. Pay for them for me. I'm blessed I was able to do that. Okay? I'm definitely blessed by that. But I don't, I'm not glorifying in it. It's kind of like if a disaster happened and I had a bunch of oatmeal and stuff like I had years ago in gold and stuff, I wouldn't then be like, ha ha ha, you suckers. No, I'd be like, damn, like, I thank God I had time and the money and the foresight to do that, and I would feel bad for other people. That's how I feel about right now. Even though, I got fired from Eagle, dude, I got another job the very next day, and the guys like, you got to run my background check. If I was hired by Eagle and their requirements are lower or reliable, you can figure it out. I can't be no dangerous axe murderer, and they hired me. You know that. Well, you don't know that. Them boys there, they by the book. Eagle got more rules. Oh yeah, way more rules. Dude told me that shit. Way more. We talking about they baby you. I don't know if they baby you. I don't have no lights on. They baby you. You are. They give you a lot more stuff, but it's a lot more things to be aware of. I'm getting off subject. SpaceX and all that AI just reminds me of the fact that we're living in a society where we're falling behind the working class. And the ruling class is ahead of us. They're going to remain ahead of us. They're pushing a culture that's psychopathic in nature. They're pushing a culture that's violent and is really unproductive in nature. And that's the reality that I see. That's the reality that I see, man. Not a reality of advancement. I'm all for these people protesting climate change. I get it. Trust me. Check my mail before I go home. I think I got some more mail. Yeah, I was going to check before I left, but I was already running behind. They don't really care. These assignments don't really care. Miss Pat just be like, get there, she give you a time, but it's really like, get as soon as possible. I was like asleep and sent a message earlier, so I was already like a half hour late. But I do this stuff when I get off work a lot of times. It's my time now. But like I said, you're not going to fix capitalism. You're not going to fix capitalism. I don't see it happening. I think it's kind of foolhardy to even have these kind of discussions or to fool yourself into thinking that you can. Come on, I'm pulling in there. Why don't you go ahead and pull out on the street? Because he's thinking he don't know what I'm going to do. Folks in Charlotte are stupid. I don't blame them. But yeah, man, you got to be aware of these things. You got to be aware, from the culture to everything they're presenting, there's something behind it. And we're falling behind. Peace out.